Hi there, folks. So in order to keep to the timings at our Evening in Antarctica, I actually took out my own 10-minute presentation. So I'm going to do that here for you now on YouTube.
So just leaving Port Loch, what an amazing experience. It's just been absolutely brilliant to be wandering around the hut where James Marr worked and just finding out all about the place. So I couldn't be happier. Really, dream come true.
So that was the moment when I actually left Port Loch. As you can see, it really was a very special thing for us to go to Port Loch. We'd been told that we wouldn't be able to go there back in October 21 because of COVID. So Bark Europa and UK Antarctic Heritage Trust arranged it so we could actually visit, which was even better because we actually got the place to ourselves. So we got to explore, see the penguins, explore the hut. Just amazing experience and very, very special memory for me. So you can see here some of my photographs that I took. I took hundreds of photos of icebergs and penguins. So I did manage to capture a couple of the whales. Really hard to capture the whales because you're never quite sure where they're going to come up. But you can see here just the amount of time that we had to actually enjoy the scenery and the wildlife was spectacular. I think I took over 5,000 photos on this trip, which is just unprecedented for any trip I've ever done. And the hardest thing, as the rest of the team indicated, is curating those and deciding which ones to share with friends. So there's some here, some of my favorites. Now, I was going to mention the C word again. So COVID hit big time on our trip. And the day that we arrived in Antarctica, I actually tested positive for COVID. We were always going to do a test 5 days in on the voyage. But I'd been tested in the UK before I left, tested in Argentina, tested before we got on the boat. So it was a real shock, and one of my lowest points on the trip to find out that I had COVID. And one of my fellow passengers, Axel, you can see here in the photographs, a German from Hanover, wonderful man. We ended up having to share a cabin. He also tested positive when we did the PCR testing. And you can see there my positive COVID result. So it meant I was separated from the rest of my team, but I made the most of it, and we got to see everything that they saw. You know, we were on deck, we got to see the icebergs, we got to see some of the islands that were visited early on in the trip. But it was isolating for 7 days. We had to eat our meals separately from the team. We did get to eat some meals up on deck. And we finally, for the last 3 days of our isolation, were allowed to do landings. So we got to do some iceberg, Zodiac cruises, etc. So, and we could talk to the team every day across the divide from the deck that we had. But there was some nice moments. So you can see there that you got a couple of glasses of whiskey, and the team actually put iceberg ice into whiskey and left it for Axel and I, which was very special. And you see there a picture of me eating my evening meal on the floor, and Axel sitting on the toilet seat to eat his evening meal and use his laptop. So it was a very cramped cabin. So I'm going to show you the little video of our cabin. Hi folks, so this is the famous cabin 1, where Axel and I have spent 7 days in isolation. We've been allowed out on deck, but it really has been quite a small cabin. I'll give you a quick guided tour. You ready? So this is Axel's bed, this is my bed,
This is the floor and this is the door. That's it. A little cupboard here where we can store things, and we do have a bathroom where Axel has eaten most of his breakfasts and dinners, and I've sat on the floor down here. So there we go, cabin 1, signing off.
So in the last few days of our isolation, we actually got to move to a bigger cabin, but we spent 7 days in cabin 1, no porthole. But it was quite an experience, and we were, as I say, able to go up on deck most days, and obviously rather than spending time in the cramped cabin, we would spend our days up on deck and looking at the wonderful scenery and wildlife. And then my podcast. So I've recorded hundreds of hours of sound. You can see here way back for the last 2 years, 2.5 years. This is many episodes, and I've interviewed some famous polar people, polar explorers, polar experts, different explorers. So all that archive is up on our website and on iTunes. So there's hours and hours of my podcast. If you're into podcasts and listening to them, give it a try. So like I say, if you go on the website and just go into the menu, there's the link to all the podcast episodes, and I'll be producing those up until the end of September when the project officially ends. So thanks for listening. That was my 10 minutes. I didn't get to fit it in on our evening, but I thought I'd share that with you now. So all the best.